Between the November 2021 highs and the January 2022 lows, Bitcoin has fallen by 45% off of its highs. Now, to put this in perspective, a 10% drop in an asset is considered a correction. A 20% drop in an asset is considered a crash. And a 45% drop is, well, that's a pretty severe crash. And now people are wondering, is this the end for Bitcoin, or what's coming next, especially since we don't see a bottom in sight? If I go back to this 3-month chart, what you see is that in the middle to end of November, you saw Bitcoin fall, but then in the end of November, you saw Bitcoin start to rally again. But right in the end of November, after that rally, boom, you see a big Bitcoin drop, and then it just went down, 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 all the way to below $60,000 a coin. And then you saw the same thing happen in the end of December. Now Bitcoin is floating at just under $50,000 a coin, and then it starts to rally in the end of December to just over $50,000 a coin, and then boom, you see another big Bitcoin drop, but then it goes down, down, down. And then in the middle part of January, going into January 20th, you saw Bitcoin start to pick up some steam again, and then boom, Bitcoin fell hard again, this time to below $40,000 a coin. Now, before you go out and smash that panic button and start sounding the alarm and start running around in fear, what I want you to do is first smash that thumbs up button below. But you should also remember that these types of crashes and corrections are really not that uncommon in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. I mean, it's still a newer asset class. You still have a lot of speculation, and because of that, you have a lot of volatility. You see big booms and busts happen pretty often. If I go back to this Bitcoin chart and I look at the 1-year graph for Bitcoin, now you can see how volatile it really is. You see the big booms and busts and booms and busts. But what you'll see is that in January of 2021, Bitcoin was trading for around $30,000 a coin. Now, this current price of Bitcoin doesn't look so bad if you compare it to where it was just a year ago, but the reason why people are getting so worried is because they saw this big boom and now the big bust. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general has a lot of people that are trying to just get rich quick. They're looking at it as a speculative investment, so they are running up prices, they're buying, they're using debt to go and buy as much as they can, and then they will pump and dump. They will buy it, make a little bit of money, and sell. Or they'll see their asset go down a little bit, and then they'll panic sell at a big loss. And this is what's contributing to the major price volatilities in things like Bitcoin. And you can see that just with what's happened over the last 12 months. Between January of 2021 and April of 2021, we saw Bitcoin rally by 100%. It went from $30,000 a coin to $60,000 a coin in just a few months. Between April 2021 and July of 2021, we saw Bitcoin get cut in half. It was a 50% drop because it went from $60,000 a coin back down to $30,000 a coin. From July to November, Bitcoin rallied again, now by 125%, because you saw the price go from $30,000 a coin up to $68,000 a coin. And then from November of 2021 to January of 2022, we almost saw Bitcoin get cut in half again. This time Bitcoin fell by 45% because now we saw the price of Bitcoin go from $68,000 back in November all the way down to around $38,000 a coin. So if you invest in Bitcoin, or if you've been thinking about investing in Bitcoin, the first thing you have to do is you got to have a strong appetite for volatility and fluctuations in price, because just within 1 year, we saw the price of Bitcoin double and then get cut in half and then double and then get cut in half again. And if you can't stomach that sort of risk, you shouldn't be investing in Bitcoin. Now, at this point in the video, you're probably thinking something along the lines of, okay, Jaspreet, I get it. Bitcoin is volatile, it goes up and down. What does this mean for me and what's coming next? Well, there's 3 things that I want to do to help you understand and answer that question. That way you know exactly what to do with your money. First, is this the end of the Bitcoin boom? I'm going to be talking about that. Then I'm going to be talking about, will Bitcoin continue to have use, or will it have more use in the future? And then I'll be talking about, what do you do and what should you do? So let me start by talking here. Is this the end for Bitcoin? Now, I've brought on different guests on my channel where we've talked about Bitcoin, and I like to bring on guests with differing opinions. That way you can hear from both sides of the argument, because intelligence is when you listen to both sides and then you can make a decision for yourself. And some guests have said that Bitcoin is going to zero. It is a big Ponzi scheme and it's going to fail. And I've brought on other guests who are big believers in Bitcoin, who think that Bitcoin will never stop going up. So when it comes to understanding if this is the end of Bitcoin, the first thing you have to do is come up with your own opinion of Bitcoin. I'm going to give my opinion here. When I talk about what do you do, I'll talk about what I'm doing with my money, especially when it comes to Bitcoin here. But you have to come up with your own opinion first. And you have to understand, do you believe in Bitcoin or do you not believe in Bitcoin? So let me give you a quick clip from my interview with Peter Schiff, where he says that Bitcoin is going to zero.
If any of your viewers own Bitcoin under the delusion that they have a safe investment, right, you're wrong, right? And you need to start selling your Bitcoin right now. Don't even wait for the finish of this interview. Just start selling. Because if you're looking for safety, you can't look at Bitcoin. Right? Even if you believe in Bitcoin, you must acknowledge that it is highly speculative. And you must also acknowledge the possibility that it goes to zero. So the only money that anybody should have in Bitcoin is money that they're willing to lose, right? So whatever your risk tolerance is, do not put one nickel more into Bitcoin than you're willing to lose. So if you've got, $10,000 in Bitcoin, if you can't say, if that goes to zero, I'm totally fine, then 10,000 is too much. I don't know. If you have 100,000 in Bitcoin and you're not okay with that going to zero, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to affect your life. It's not going to stop you from paying your mortgage or retiring or doing the things that you want to do. If that's your fun money, you have to look at it like, I just took this money to Las Vegas and I know I'm going to lose it. I might make it. I might hit it big, but I'm going to have a good time. I'm willing to lose this money. That's how you have to look at Bitcoin. So if you're not looking at it like that, then just get out of it. It's not for you. Or at least reduce your position to the point that you are comfortable losing 100% of whatever you leave in Bitcoin. And that goes with any cryptocurrency. They're all the same. They're all highly speculative tokens. But then beyond that, do I think that these tokens are going to succeed? No. I think that Bitcoin is just a pyramid scheme, chain letter, Ponzi. Bitcoin has no actual value.
Peter Schiff, who you just listened to, is a very smart economist. He's a gold person. He manages some hedge funds, but he does not believe in Bitcoin. Now we can compare that to somebody like Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is the CEO of a publicly traded company, MicroStrategies, and his company has purchased billions of dollars worth of Bitcoins. He was the leading brain behind that to go out and buy $3 billion worth of Bitcoin back in 2020, and he believes the complete opposite. You can hear what he says.
The US dollar is backed by the United States Army, by the military might of the United States and the police force, and the belief in the United States of America. Bitcoin is backed by the network of Bitcoin proof of work miners. There are millions of Bitcoin miners scattered all around the world. There are billions of dollars of capital. There are billions of dollars of energy that are used to defend the network. There are 10,000 plus nodes running the Bitcoin software on it. There are tens of thousands of Lightning nodes to process transaction payments. And there's hundreds of millions of people that believe in it. So in fact, Bitcoin is an ecosystem. It is a combination of political support. It's the support of the electorate. It's the support of the politicians. It's the support of the miners. It's the support of the holders. It's the protocol itself, which is built into tens of thousands of companies and built into many political jurisdictions. And that makes it the most secure ledger in the world, the most secure database, the most unhackable, most indestructible database. And it also makes it the strongest brand in the world. It's not just the greatest monetary brand, it's the greatest brand. And by that, I mean, it's worth 1.3 or 1.2 trillion dollars right now. That's all brand value. That's a lot more valuable than the brand value in Coca-Cola or Apple or Google. And everybody in the world recognizes Bitcoin as money. The closest thing to that maybe is the United States dollar. But the point is, the US dollar is an inflationary currency. It's losing value every month. And Bitcoin is appreciating asset. It's gaining purchasing power every year.
The people that are part of the Bitcoin tribe really aren't that surprised by this Bitcoin drop. They know that Bitcoin is volatile, they know that it fluctuates, and they know that we've seen a lot of highs and a lot of speculation. So for a lot of the Bitcoin supporters, they're using this dip as an opportunity to buy more. Now everybody else who doesn't like Bitcoin, who hates Bitcoin, who thinks Bitcoin is going to fail or that it's a Ponzi scheme, thinks that this is the beginning of the end of Bitcoin, and they're just sitting there eating their popcorn, watching people lose money. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this shorter clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And if you're interested in learning more about how to invest your money in the stock market, our team put together an amazing guide that will walk you through how to invest your money in the stock market. This guide is completely free when you sign up for our daily newsletter. So if you want to read this guide, all you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.